Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, when is it enough for the narcissist? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when is it ever enough for the narcissist? When will they finally have had enough? When will they have finally had enough spying on you, keeping you stuck in the legal system, parental alienating you, counter-parenting you, trapping you in the legal system with the lawyers and the courtrooms and everything? When will it be enough for them to stop sending you nasty emails or to paint a narrative which is untrue? The narcissist is a bottomless pit. They have nothing inside of them other than emptiness. There is a vast wasteland. There's a void within them. And they know this. They've known it since they were very young. They also know that they have one obligation, and it's not to themselves, it's to the darkness, to go through this thing called life and to steal, to divide, to conquer, to destroy, to crush people's hopes, dreams, aspirations, take their goals, take their future, take their relationships, their hobbies, take anything that mattered to those people. And this is why the narcissist continues to fall apart. This is why the narcissist continues to become unhinged. This is why they all overplay their hand. This is why they all get sloppy and lazy the older they become. This is why they all become the aging narcissist, which by now you should know is not a pretty sight to see. This is why the narcissist, every once in a while when you were in the relationship, you would get hints or glimpses that they did know what they were doing. Perhaps maybe you made notes in your smartphone like I did years ago. Truth be told, I believe it was 2017. As a matter of fact, it was 2017. I was taking notes in my phone. I still have those notes to this day, and I believe there are 11 of them describing to myself, although I didn't know what kind of relationship I was in, what I was experiencing. And every one of those bullet points rubber stamped, it clarified and confirmed what I didn't know back then, but I do know now, that in fact, toxicity, narcissism, dark energy is all over the planet. And when you are too close to these dark energy sources that have two legs and they walk and talk similar to you, then you will pay a price for being in the relationship. Maybe the person you're considering was one of your parents. Maybe it was your sibling. Maybe it was your romantic relationship. Maybe it's your adult son or daughter. Maybe it's your neighbor, your colleague, your coworker. Maybe it's a person on a walking group, or maybe it's a person in a class that you're teaching or participating in. Maybe it is the person sitting next to you right now as you're consuming this video on your lunch break. Who knows who they are, but you are learning that not everybody thinks the way you think. Not everybody has your best interest at heart. And there are many people who wear multiple masks, not exclusive to the narcissist, who will say whatever they want to say to get whatever they want, either now or in the future. And once they get what they want, they will say they never said what they said, essentially gaslighting, or they will blame you, or you'll never talk to them again, or they discard you, or who knows what they will do. But the whole point is, these people, the toxic people, they know what they're doing. And to prove that they know what they're doing, why do you think they can't change? Why do you think they can't introspect? Why do you think they can't look in the mirror and be accountable? Because it would be too painful. They would have to actually admit the truth, that they are ticking time bombs, that they are walking cyclones, that they are disturbing and destroying people's lives, and that they need to do this to fuel themselves, to fill that bottomless pit, which is within them, not within you, it's within them. There's an energetic connection between the narcissist and any person who is too close to them, or who is close to them. And that energetic connection, and I've described it for years on videos, it's very similar to what I'm going to share. I'm going to break it down for you. You are what I call a beautiful, bright, shining light. Possibly have a high level of empathy, but you were targeted by this person. Yes, the toxic narcissist. The narcissist saw in you what they didn't have and don't have and never will have authentically within themselves. So they try to take it from you, use you as not the beautiful, bright, shining light, but try to extinguish you and use you as a fuel source to make them feel better about themselves, essentially putting you down so you are feeling worse about yourself. And that is an energetic exchange. Picture a battery, as I've shared. A battery, well, what happens? Let's say it's a rechargeable battery, if you will. Rechargeable battery, well, you use it, and probably your smartphone's the best way to say it. On your smartphone, you have a battery and that battery gets drained. And as it gets drained, eventually you look at your battery. Maybe right now is one of those times you should probably take a look at your battery. Maybe you're low. Maybe you're at about 8 or 10%, and you probably are, so plug it in and charge it. But as the battery's getting lower, you need to figure out how to top it up. And what you do is you plug it into a port or something, and you charge your smartphone. That's what you have to do until better technology arrives where you don't have to do that. In the meantime, that's what you do. So think about that. There's an energetic exchange. You have to plug your smartphone into a port to charge it so you can use it and watch the videos I create. Well, you were the battery for the narcissist, and you were rechargeable until you weren't, which means that relationship ended any way you look at it. It broke, it snapped, it fell apart at the hands of the narcissist. There was not one thing you could have done to stay in that relationship longer. There's not one more thing you could have tolerated that would have kept you in the relationship longer. The narcissist took everything they could from you and more. They crumbled you up like a sheet of paper, threw you away on the freeway, thinking you would never heal, you would never see behind the mask, you would never figure out who they were, and that you would stay stuck pining for them and thinking about them. Well, that's what had happened to most people before they met you, but you're different. The narcissist never thought that you were the person who you turned out to be. They thought you were just another human being who was going to get punished, who was going to get too close and believe in the dream and believe in the future faking and believe in all the promises that were empty, and that once they took whatever they wanted, that they would just end it. Well, that's not what happened with you. That's why you're here getting your cup full. But as I shared, that battery that you were, and this is just an example because I was the same in real life, you are what I call the beautiful, bright, shining light. And that is an energy source also. Think about what the sun is. What is the sun? Well, that's how we get our energy. That's how you're watching this video right now, whether you know it or not, because your phone, unless it's a solar phone, and if it is, good work, but even if it isn't, you still have to get electricity, and electricity is generated from things on the earth, which all of them start up there from the sun, no matter what you think. So having said that, your battery was becoming depleted, and you did not know how to charge it. You didn't know how to recharge it. And not only that, but even if you did know how to recharge it, what would happen is as soon as you were recharged a little bit, let's say you started off at 100% using the cell phone battery percentage as an example. Well, you were 100% when you met the toxic narcissist, and then over time you became 80, 60, 50, 30, 20, 12. And then you were like, wait, I used to have all this money. I used to look better. I used to be in great shape. I used to have friends. I used to have hobbies. I used to be respected, be treated properly. I had everything going for me. And now you looked in the mirror and you weren't who you were. You were a shell of yourself because the narcissist had taken everything from you, and you didn't know how to recharge your battery, not your cell phone battery. Well, then what happened? You figured out what narcissism was, and lo and behold, you got the wisdom, and you began to practice radical acceptance and understand that you were targeted and that the narcissist was trying to drain you, your life force, your energy, and your battery, and they wanted it to get to zero, never to be able to be recharged again. But as I began to share, with you recharging your battery, you didn't realize that every time you were trying to charge your battery when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, and I'm talking about your physical battery, not the phone. I'm going to put the phone on the side. What you were doing was you could get it maybe topped up to 17%, maybe up to 22, maybe at times up to 28 or 29, and that would be very high. If you got that high, you probably didn't. Then they would zap you again because they were watching you, they were observing you, they were studying you, and they were seeing how much energy had been replenished or replaced. This is why so frequently when you're in these relationships, the narcissist disappears. Sometimes they disappear because they're cheating on you with the new supply. Sometimes they disappear because they have a legitimate business trip to go on. Sometimes they disappear because they need to get away from you, literally, so you can recharge your battery. And you may think, well, wow, I never thought of it that way, but is that true? Yeah, of course it's true. The narcissists themselves, they have a battery, not just in their 3 smartphones, but within them. The difference between you and the narcissist, and there are billions of differences, but the main difference for this video is this. You are your own fuel source. You don't need supply. What you need is to be free from toxicity. And as you heal and the clarity arrives and you stay away from the narcissist and you maintain no contact and your boundaries, your battery will get recharged authentically and organically, because that's what you are. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light, as am I. Think about what I'm sharing with you. No truer words have ever been said. Now, the narcissist is not the beautiful, bright, shining light. They're the dark energy source, and they exist in that low vibrational state. In the low vibrational state, there is no light. There is only darkness. That's why the narcissist hides under rocks. That's why they lurk behind corners. That's why they're spying at people on social media. That's why they look through the glass of a two-way mirror. That's why the narcissist is always around. Now, having said that, they can't recharge their battery organically and authentically because they don't have what you have. Earlier in the video, I shared with you that the narcissist has a bottomless pit. They have a void. They have an emptiness. There's nothing but pitch blackness there and darkness, and they know it. That will never go away. The narcissist knows that. You didn't. So when you inserted, or they inserted, your beautiful, bright, shining light within them, the energetic exchange I'm referring to, you were being fuel for them. Fuel could be what is called supply. Not my favorite word, but that's what the community calls it. So you were supply for the narcissist. You were catapulting them from one leg of their life to the next leg using all of your resources as supply. To me, you are not supply. You've never been supply. You are the beautiful, bright, shining light. It is not a coincidence I came up with that term 5 years ago, because that's what I am, and I was almost extinguished many times, specifically January 6, 2021. However, I am here, and I am shining brighter than ever, every single moment. You are the same as myself, which means you are targeted, you are in the cycle, you are in the loop of abuse and misery and misdirection and manipulation, and you did not know that you were the beautiful, bright, shining light. You were trying to fix an unfixable relationship. You were trying to patch all the paper cuts that were inflicted upon you by the narcissist intentionally and deliberately and on purpose. The narcissistic relationship is death by 1,000 paper cuts. You have micro discards, you have medium-sized discards, you have the silent treatment, you have verbal abuse, you have things being thrown at you, you have financial abuse, you have parental alienation, you have counter-parenting, not co-parenting, you have people watching you and spying on you at the hands of the narcissist, i.e. flying monkeys. You have a whole sect of people who are enablers, who are loyal to the narcissist to a fault, and those people, stay with me here, those are very strange people. I've never said that in video, but no truer words other than what I said earlier would be true. Think about the groupies that the narcissist has around them. Who are these people? Where did they come from? How do they not see behind the mask? How are they so loyal to the toxic parasite? How do they not ever get it? This is one of the great mysteries of the world, and I do have the answer to that, but it's not going to be revealed in this video. Think about this. Do you have groupies? No. Do you have people fawning all over you and falling all over you and doing things for you? No, no, and no. Do you abuse people? Absolutely not. Do you see behind the mask now? Yes, you do. Why can't those flying monkeys and other people see behind the mask? It's for a whole different video. I just want to share with you something. Why it will never be enough for the narcissist? Because that bottomless pit needs to be refilled over and over and over again. And sometimes the supply that they get lasts them for a few minutes. Sometimes it lasts them for a few hours, a few days, sometimes maybe a week. You could actually say maybe a couple weeks. I doubt it ever lasts that long, but let's say it does. But eventually the house of cards crumbles. Eventually the narcissist has to rear their ugly head, and that bottomless pit is screaming at them, wait, fill me, fuel me. Someone has to validate me. Someone has to make it seem like I matter. Someone has to pamper me, nurture me, and tell me I'm important. I need an unpaid helper. I need a walking apology. I need someone to make me believe that I am powerful and strong. I need to control people. I need to have people texting me and asking me to go spend time and to go grab lunch and to do these things, invite to dinners and events and barbecues and birthdays and all that. When that all goes away, and believe me, it does eventually, the narcissist suffers a massive narcissistic injury. Now, do I want anyone to experience an injury? Absolutely not. Do I want the narcissist to experience one? No, I don't. But this is how these people live their lives. They know one speed, full speed ahead. And this is why they need to recharge their own batteries sometimes, even though you didn't know it when you were in it. The narcissist burns themselves out. Simultaneously, they burn out multiple people at the same time. And this includes their kids, their stepkids, their romantic relationships, their siblings, their parents, and anyone, their coworkers, and anyone who gets too close to them. Now, I've said that 4 or 5 times in the video because it is completely true and accurate. If you get too close to a toxic person, Before you knew the wisdom, before you acquired what narcissism is or what toxicity is, you would stay doing whatever you could be doing because you were trying to help them and you thought they had problems, or they were vulnerable, or they were weak or naive, or they just needed to catch a break, or whatever it was. But you were being fuel for them. You were being supply for them. You were doing exactly what they wanted you to do for them. Now that you have the wisdom, you can see toxicity from 10 miles away. You can see gaslighting in a second. You can see when somebody let's say someone's going to an event or a barbecue, or you're in the mall, or they're going to church or something, and there are two people that are clearly married, and one of them's walking 30 feet in front of the other one, and they're not late to go to church, say they're 10 minutes early. Well, something's wrong there, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's called abuse. That is called a toxic relationship, any way you cut it. The thing is, the person being walked in front of probably has no idea. The person walking in front knows exactly what they're doing because they're devaluing and invalidating their partner. It's just one example. So why it will never be enough, or when is it enough for the narcissist? It will never be enough. These people just go through life like a bull in a china shop, trying to destroy, trying to take, try and to trap people. And they know what they're doing. Many people think still, no, the narcissist can change. They can heal. They can start again, and they can turn over a new leaf. No pun intended. They can't. If they were able to do that, they would have done it by now. They're not doing it. They're only getting worse. And as the narcissist ages, yes, they become the aging narcissist, and their supply sources shrivel up and wither away just like they do, because people are becoming more and more aware and awakened, educated, and empowered, and more people are understanding that they don't need to be in these kind of relationships, whether it is with their parent, their sibling, their romantic relationship, their neighbor, their colleague, their boss, their coworker, or whomever. Life is short. It's meant to be relished, enjoyed, cherished, honored, and experienced. You should not have an 800-pound weight around your neck or around your ankles of toxicity, which is screaming at you constantly. You're not doing enough. I wouldn't have done that. You don't know how to boil an egg. What about this? You didn't clean properly. I see that you used Windex on the 30 windows upstairs, but you missed that one corner spot in the bottom right one. What are you doing? You can't do anything. You're worthless. This is what these people do. When they say all of those nasty things, what they're really talking about is themselves. You may not agree with that, but it's true. Think about this. Have you ever put anybody down deliberately or intentionally, trying to inflict harm or damage upon them? No, you haven't. I haven't either. But yet that's what the narcissist does on purpose with anybody, and I mean anybody they possibly can. And you must also know that the narcissist wants to divide and conquer, which means this: if there's a support system that is around you or was around you, and the narcissist is trying to still punish you via the smear campaign or via waiting out, playing the long game and assets and custody and all those things, what they want to do is get people one-on-one, and they want to talk to them and paint the narrative that you're the villain, you're the bad person, or that they're the victim and that they're heartbroken, or how come you don't love them, or whatever they're trying to do. But they're trying to win people over. And the more people the narcissist can win over, the less people will be in your corner. The less people that are in your corner, the more isolated you become. The more isolated you become, the more control the narcissist has. The more control the narcissist has, the weaker you become. Now, I say that because that's what happened to me before I had the wisdom. I could not figure out why nobody knocked on my door, why nobody checked in on me. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. It's because the smear campaign was well underway long before the discard. Truth be told, it was probably going on long before the wedding bells rang. But that's in the past. Now I'm in the present, as are you, and you're getting your cup full and you're understanding when it will be enough for the narcissist. When they take their final breath, and even on their deathbed, no matter where they are, in some retirement home, maybe at their own bed, maybe they're in some flea bag infested motel, maybe they're in their car. I don't know where they are. I'll say this: we're all going to leave the planet one day. So as far as the narcissist goes, even on their last breath, they're not going to repent. They're not going to be accountable. They're going to mock people. They're going to laugh in the face of the truth. And they're going to say, yep, I did a number on the planet this time, this go around. I destroyed X number of lives. I'm actually getting better. And let's see what happens. I will not be accountable. I will not apologize. And I think I know where I'm going. As a matter of fact, I think the narcissist, I actually believe they know where they're going. And I'll tell you right now, where they're going is not where I'm going or you're going. Where they're going is where they came from. The pitch blackness, the wasteland, the void, the low vibrational state. And that's where the narcissist exists. I will share this as I close the video. You are the beautiful, bright, shining light. The narcissist is the polar opposite of you. They're a parasite. They were looking for somebody to fill that void. That void was filled by you as long as you could keep your light shining as bright as it could. Simultaneously, the narcissist was trying to extinguish you and your light and take all of your energy. And as I illustrated earlier in the video with the battery, cell phone battery percentage, they try to put you down to 0, hoping that you wouldn't find the charger and hoping that you would never, ever be able to be plugged back into life. Well, that's not what happened with you. What happened with you is you probably got as low as I did, maybe to 1%, and your percentage on your battery, it went from green to red, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run low here. I don't wanna run out of battery, what do I do? Well, then lo and behold, what happened? You got the wisdom. You understood. No matter how you cracked the code or figured it out, you did something that most people will never do. You found that needle in a haystack and you realized that, oh my gosh, this is the test of my life. Oh my gosh, this is somebody trying to ruin me. Oh my gosh, this was somebody trying to keep me down further and further, 6 feet, if you will. I need to plug myself in. I need to pick myself up by the bootstraps, dust myself off, rise through the ashes like a phoenix, and put myself back together. And that's what I did against all odds. That's what you've done, or that's what you're doing. So now my hope is your battery, like mine, is either 100% or maybe 99%, and it stays that way. The days of being drained are over. The days of tolerating toxicity are finished. The days of waiting for the narcissist to change, they will never, ever return. We now understand that we are the priority. We come first, second, and third, and there is no room in our lives now or in the future for toxicity, no matter how it rears its ugly head. That's why before I close the video, I will share this. When it will be enough for the narcissist, it will never be enough. No matter where they are, no matter who they're with, no matter what they're doing, they're repeating that loop of abuse. They're repeating the victim card. They're blaming you and other sources of supply for not doing anything. They are dragging out the legal system, the custody, the 401k, the assets, the yacht, and everything else. And what they're doing is not looking in the mirror and saying, wait, if I just change my behavior, I can fix this. And yeah, I'll probably still get divorced, but I can actually do the right thing and go 50-50 and just move. No, they're never going to do that, because to the narcissist, everything is a game, and it's a zero-sum game that they feel that they have to win. This is your life. It's not a game. So understand the message. Go no contact if you have not now. What are you waiting for? So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. A few things. This video is a little bit longer, and I'm going to make them longer because that's what you all wanted in the community. Many of you said do what I want, and I appreciate that. Others said they wanted them longer because sometimes people listen to them when they're going to bed or on their car ride to work or at work or getting ready to meditate or just unplugging. So I will make them longer, which is what I want to do, and I have it in me. And again, as I shared with you the other day, my battery's fully charged. I want to conserve as much of my attention and energy to help you out in the community so you can get to where I am. And you are doing great. Continue to focus on yourself and understand that if where you are is where you want to be, that's fantastic. If where you are is not where you want to be, there's work to be done. But no matter how you look at it, continue to keep your cup full, keep your battery charged. Remember, you are not a supply source. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light. I love you more than you'll ever know. Continue on the path moving forward each and every day. And for this video, I spoke a little bit slower, and I wanted to see what you all like in the community, because I can talk super fast, super slow, make the videos long or short, but I wanted to talk a little bit slower because sometimes people say I speak a little too fast. All I want to do is help you heal. All I want to do is help you get to where I am, and all I want to do is pay it forward. And when I pay it forward to you and you get your cup full and you heal, you too will be able to pay it forward. That's why this is a ripple effect that is grabbing more and more attention internationally. It's growing, and the goodness is beginning to win over the darkness. You may not think so, but it is. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.